Hello to everybody. I'm Sabrina. I was the one who made the contact with most of you here through the survey that we made or the web page that we set up for this webinar especially. First, I would like to thank you, all of you, because you came to the webinar. That means that you are also interested in the quality management software and you are doing something on one way or another, and we will show you today how to make it better. Just to know, at the beginning, everybody of you will be muted. The questions and answer part will come at the end. So if you have something, please just write it down here in the chat area, and we will answer all of your questions at the end. Now I will start with my presentation, and after that we will talk at the end. Okay? So why are you here today? We would like to present you our Quama. Quama is the software for the quality management that you will more or less use in the company that you work for. But at the beginning, just a little bit about us. Who are we and what do we do? Basically, we are one of the main players in the business software solutions in Slovenia, and we made our Quama based on the basically on the market research, and it's a quality management software that was made by request. What do we do with Quama? We manage quality in a really quality way. And who is in the team of Quama? We have our CEO, Vlado Gobec, who has the 24 years of experience. And then it's the product manager, Mitja Berishaj, who will be talking about Quama in practical part today as well. Then we have Zlatko Novak, who is the CTO of the company and has also experience from the quality management in the production company. Vito is our software developer, so he's the head of our software developer team for Quama. And he also has more than 30 years of experience. And then at the end, it's me who is responsible for taking care of all of you and taking care of the potential clients, potential partners, and so on in Slovenia and worldwide. So at the beginning, I mentioned that we made a Quama survey. I think that most of you already solved this survey, but just let's go through results. The surprising part of the survey was that most of the people who answered this question was the manager of the company, and he needed to know what is going on in the company. From this field is basically these are the people who need to take care of all their employees, and they need to know what are the risks, what is happening, and so on. The other thing was the other position was the quality manager at the organization, which means that those are people who are on the one way responsible to the manager, and on the other hand responsible to all of the people that they manage and all the quality areas in the company that they need to manage. And then another thing is which areas of quality are those people managing. So the first one were audits. This was really surprising because we thought that the most common method it was 8D, but we could see that audits are the thing that is really, really, really important. So how to manage audits inside of the company, internal, external, and so on. We can solve this as well with our Quama, and this is also a thing that Mitja, our product manager, will show you in the other part. The next one was 8D, and the third one was ISO documentation and process management. So the ISO documentation can be easily solved inside of our Quama as well, and this is also something that Mitja will show you. And this is a thing that basically we already knew, but the results just confirmed everything that we also knew. How do you manage quality at the moment? Spreadsheets is the most common, and paper and pen is the second one. We can see that people are also using some professional software for quality. At the moment, in Slovenia, there are a lot of companies who offer maybe 8D method, and another company who offers FMEA, and the third company maybe who can offer corrective action plans. But inside of Quama, you have to look at the Quama as the ERP for quality. This means that you cannot manage, so you can manage only one module, but you will see at the end that it's more sustainable and basically better for the whole company, for the lean company to manage more than one area. What industry do you work in? This is something that I was really surprised about. So from the survey, most of the people that we were basically targeting were people from automotive industry or the plastics and so on. We could see based on the survey that here also translation, marketing, education, healthcare, IT company as well. So that means that quality is important everywhere. And I'm sure that each one of you needs some part of the quality management software. And what were the main problems? Reporting, how to make reporting with just one click, how to control all of the documents that you need to send to your buyers, to your customer, and so on. How to gather data from various files that you have, from various Excel files and so on, and at the moment they are untraceable because there are so many of them. How to make standardization and automation of work processes, how to coordinate all the information between departments, between people. And one of the really important ones, how to identify main issues, how to focus on the problems that you have so they won't happen again. And at the end, it was supplier quality. How can we solve that? Solution is something that we call Quama. Quama is basically something that you will need in the company, as I already mentioned, and you will implement it. So we hope that you will implement it because it will help you make quality management better. It will not focus only on the quality management part, but at the end you will see that it will have effect on the whole company and the results will be better and better through the time. Why did I put this photo inside? This is a question that, so this was basically my memory lane. Everybody is using spreadsheets and paper and pen and so on and so on. Nobody uses professional quality management software. Why is that? At the beginning, if you remember, we had paper and pen, then became computers and so on and so on. From the time we became so invested in the computers that most of the companies already uses business software solutions. Why do not use business software solutions for quality management as well? This is a question for you that I hope that we can also solve together. Just a little bit of our input. What do our clients say? They say that the Quama completely replaced paper usage in the areas of quality, have evaded the forging of data, which means that the data that people receive are the ones that are really accurate, really updated, and everything else. And of course, they have a better overview of their work. Market validation, what does that mean? You can see from this graph that, for example, in the US, the recalls in the automakers were really high, which means that if they would use something in the field of quality management software, those numbers could be really lower, and the cost of the company who had to make a recall could be really, really lower. Advantages of our Quama. It's a unique environment for the entire field of quality, which means that if we have something, so if you have a wish of how to do something inside of the quality management, we can help you. We can connect our Quama to any ERP system. It doesn't matter if you use SAP or if you use whatever else, we can connect it. Of course, there is transparency of data, which means that if you put something inside, it's there forever. Of course, there is teamwork because you can share all the information between your colleagues, between your CEO, between the employees that are doing the work for you, and so on. And we can avoid sending files through emails and saving to disk, because if you have something inside, you can just attach the file to the task, and everybody can see. Everybody who is responsible for it can see it. And Quama is not tied to certain location because we can offer localization and we offer a multi-language environment. And of course, preparation for obtaining certificate, if you have one, so ISO 9001, for example, is much more efficient and easily manageable. And now this is the end of my part. I will now give the word to our product manager, Mitya, and at the end I will be with you again so I can take care of everything else that, and all the answers that we need to answer.
Good day to everybody. Thank you, Sabrina. Very good. Okay, so about the practical part. Before we begin with the software itself, I want to talk about very briefly about the structure of our quality management system. I think it will be easier for you to understand what I will show you later on. Give me just one moment. Okay. Okay, so this is the main structure of our quality management system. Okay, if you take a look at this tree here, at the very top left, we have the so-called categories, which you'll see later on, which include the sales and development and the production management, as you can see here. Now, the next level, the second level, are the areas of quality. Misspelled here, sorry. The areas of quality. Those are actually the areas which the users can define for themselves. And I have brought out here two examples, which is the solving of the complaints under the 8 disciplines method, and the risk analysis, failure mode and defect analysis that does the risk analysis. Now, within those areas of quality, we have projects and activities. Okay, the projects is the third layer, which in this example is the one complaint that you have to solve, or within the failure mode and defect analysis area of quality, it's one process that has to be evaluated based on this method. Now, each of these projects has activities. That's the last and the final fourth level here, which are the activities, because you have to create some activities if you wish to bring certain processes or projects to the end. Okay, so don't forget, on the first level, categories; second, areas of quality; the third one are the projects or processes, as we like to call them also, and on the fourth level, there are activities. Okay, so I'll change now to our system. So all you need to do to access our system is the internet connection and the installed browser on your computer. The whole system works in the cloud on web. And also you need the username and password. Type those in and click on and let's go. Okay, so the first form that you see here when you log into this system is the My Task form, where all of your different activities that are appointed to you are waiting here for you to solve or for you to accomplish. And when you do, you have to change the status of those activities to finished. And then those go to the finished lane here. Now, in this presentation, I want to talk about many different areas of quality. Those include 8 disciplines problem-solving method or complaints that are solved under the AD method, and also I will talk about corrective actions. I will talk about and show you how the failure mode and defect analysis is done. Also the SPC or statistical process control. We'll show a little bit about 5S lean method, which is about organizing your work areas. Talk about how you can actually create different kinds of forms and maybe even solve and handle incidents and dangerous events within the system. Show you how you can create plans for your yearly audits. We'll show you how you can manage documents and processes. That main focus will be on ISO, and how you can simply create certain dashboards to create or to bring yourself a information that is very useful for you. Okay, so here on the left side we have a menu. Those are the first level categories that I spoke a few minutes ago. Okay, so as you can see, APQP project, sales, development, purchasing, production, and so on. Each of these has projects and tasks within these categories. Okay, so if I click here on the projects, it will open up a new form, and within this form I have one area of quality here, and this area of quality is reserved only for solving the customer complaints based on the 8 disciplines problem solving methodology. This is one complaint that you have to solve. Okay, now what can we do here with these complaints? I'll enter right now into the Kanban mode or Kanban view, as we have it here in the system, and that's the main form within users usually work. Now this Kanban view is divided in 8 different phases from D1 to D8. It's a classical 8 phases for the AD problem solving methodology. And within here, we have all of the activities that need to be solved in order for us to solve the whole complaint. Okay? On these activities, different users can be attached or can be appointed, such as here. I can only click and then change the user to somebody else. I can add different comments on this activity, on each of those activities. So if I click here, I can add a comment, mark it as public if I wish that comment to be on my report. I can also add work and add documents. Okay, so when all of the people that are working on this complaint finish their activity and write up their findings, we can automatically generate a 8D report. Okay, we do this like so. Not connection. Okay, more actions, print data, and click on the OK. And what I get out is something like this. It's a complete AD report which has all the necessary data on it. Okay, from the company, from the customer complaint code, date, quantity, product code, product name, which is the team for this complaint solving, all of the phases from 1 to 8, and all of the different findings that are written on the report. These findings are automatically put on the report and are used from the comments that we have written on the activities. Okay, and this is actually the result of our customer complaints that are solved through AD solving methodology. Okay, very good. So the next thing I want to talk about, which is actually very similar to the AD complaints here, is the corrective actions approach. I have defined those here in the corrective actions category. Click on projects. And I have here an area of quality, which is corrective action plan, and my corrective actions over here. This is the first one and this is the second one. How it looks like? It looks like very similar to the previous one, complaints, but the only difference is that I have joined here the phases 5 and 6. I also have here the different activities where I have to write certain comments or findings. Okay, I can appoint certain people, and also here I can get out a report. Okay, so more actions button over here. I can click on the print data, it automatically gives me a report template, and I click OK, and the system then generates a whole report and attaches different findings to the different phases, like so. Okay, so the theme, our findings, our phases of this corrective action, dates, everything you need. And this is also customizable. So if someone wishes to have this a little bit different, we can change it. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so now that we have looked at the AD complaints and the corrective actions, I will talk shortly about the failure mode and defect analysis. Okay. The failure mode and defect analysis could also be thought as preventive actions, because you are trying to identify certain risks that didn't happen yet, and you don't want them to happen, so you create certain actions also to prevent them. I have created my failure mode and defect analysis area of quality here in the development category. This is all, by the way, completely customizable. I could put it in any other category here, but I think it's most appropriate if I put it here. Okay, so my area of quality failure mode and defect analysis. Now this time, what I have just marked over here, this is my process. Let's say that I work in some company that has heat treatment processes, and they have to identify the errors that could happen in this process. Okay, so this is my heat treatment process, and if I enter into this view here, I can then see all of the different errors that my workers have registered here within this process. Okay, and these errors must be taken seriously and evaluated based on the failure mode and defect analysis. Okay, so let's say, for example, here I have over-hardening. Over-hardening of a product makes it breakable, which is not, and consequently it makes the product not of low quality, and we have to prevent that. Okay, I have an evaluation form for the failure mode and defect analysis behind this error. Okay. And this is how I can then evaluate my mistake. Okay, I have the failure here. I can write the error effect, the root cause of this failure, and how am I going to prevent that this product will not come to my customer before it's too late. Okay, then I have to judge or evaluate the severity of the error, the probability of the root cause to happen, and how good our system controls are that this error won't get out of hand and cause too much trouble. Anyway, I have evaluated everything. We get an estimation or risk priority number, which we have to lower by certain corrective actions. I make the corrective actions, I can write them here, or create a whole new project corrective actions that we have looked at in the previous step, and then evaluate again based on the severity, probability, and detectability. Now, when I'm satisfied with my risk priority number, I can check it as acceptable and save my form. Okay, and very similarly, as we had reports in the complaints department and corrective actions, we can have a report also here for the failure mode and defect analysis. What I can do is here, print data. It offers me the FME report. I click OK, and the system generates a whole report based on all the errors that have been put into the system. Okay, as you can see, failure mode and defect analysis report. Who are the members, what's the project name or the process name, is the heat treatment, And then we have here our errors over hardening and something and something, and the whole evaluation here and all of the actions that we have prescribed here, and maybe some notes. Okay, so we can see how the number lowers from here from 210 to 42, which is acceptable for us. Okay. Okay, let's go back. Now, before I move on, I want to talk about something else. Each of these projects has its own form, and also each of the activities of projects or errors have also its own form. And it looks something like this. So the point here is to tell you that these forms, the input forms where you input your data, are completely customizable. Those fields can be activated or turned off if we don't need those. Okay. Now the next thing I want to show you is this statistical process control. Also very important in the production management, because in the production we have many different processes and we want those processes to be stable. It's very important to be stable, because if the processes are not stable, the products won't be of the demanded quality that we want to create. Okay, so in the production management category right now you can see two different areas of quality, and one of them is SPC, Statistical Process Control. One example here, I have defined a process where I want to monitor the creation of a certain type of screws, M25. Okay, it's not important. I go to the Kanban view over here, and let's say we have our daily or hourly SPC monitoring for this screw. Okay, behind this task there is a form, an SPC form, where I input the data for the head diameter of the screw, length, and stem diameter. And these attributes have the upper and lower boundary, which must not be exceeded. If it is, it turns out red, like so. Okay. Now, if I click here on the SPC chart report, the system will generate the report out of these inputs or these measures. And here I can then see that here at the beginning something went wrong with the process and the correction was needed. Okay, and now the process is stable again. So the SPC chart, control chart, is also here available, and the whole statistical process control, as you can see. And in this report you see the results for all three of the attributes, which is the head and stem diameter and length. Okay, moving on. Have to mention also that we have 6 different charts over here. This one is most common, but the rest are also useful, as you can see. Okay. Now the next thing to briefly mention is the 5S method for organizing workspaces. Among other things, what we can do here in our system is we can also create certain forms, certain charts, and we have done this here for this area of quality, 5S Lean. And let's say that my project in this case is the 5S monthly audit. I audit our work areas on a monthly basis, and I want to see how I am doing. So let's go into the Kanban view. So we have here the January, February, March, April, May. Okay, and we do the same event each month. Okay, and now I can click on this button over here and come to the chart. I have defined the 5 phases of the 5S Lean method, which is sort, simplify, systematic, cleaning, standardize, and sustain. certain criteria for each of the phase where I can then put in my results. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and whatever. And later on, I can get a report out of this to see what has changed. And this is only for 1 month. But if that's not enough for me, I can get a cumulative report or another one, which I will show you right now. Okay, like so. So if this is the January and this is the February, and as you can see, I have moved on because my grades and points are better. Okay, so it's just an example of what you can do here with these questionnaires. Now the next interesting thing is many of you that work in the companies also have certain incidents and dangerous events happening or in the manufacturing or or anywhere else, and you can manage those actually. So here in the health and safety, let's see if everything is okay. Okay, everything is fine. Here in the health and safety department or category, I have created a dangerous events and incidents area of quality for the year 2017, sorry. And within this project, I can register all of the dangerous events that can happen in our company, okay? And behind those incidents, there have to be certain forms that you have to fill out, okay? And you can do this very simply. So as you can see, this is my dangerous events task over here, and this is the form which has to be filled out. Okay, so this is the injury, where part of the body, who is the person that happened, that the incident happened to it, and certain data that have to be filled out. This is completely customized and you can adapt it according to your own needs. And this information are always here within the system, and you will be also able to print it out on a piece of paper if that's needed. Okay, so very useful thing. Okay. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the document and process management. And in order to show you this, I will have to log in someplace else. My internet connection is a bit low today. Okay, quality management or Quama. And I will move now to the managing processes and documents. Now this one is interesting for those who are auditors and those who have to work with ISO certificates and audits within their company. Okay, one of the things that we now have in our system is the ability to create the documentation for your own processes and maybe any other documents like instructions or I don't know, forms, contracts, or whatever that has to be connected to those processes. And for instance, right now here, you can see I have the work assets maintenance process. This is just an example. And how this looks like when I go into the edit form, we have many different things here. So you can actually define your process based on the ID, set it certain edition, give it a name, give it a process owner, document type, document level. And now the next thing that's very interesting and useful is that you don't need Microsoft Word anymore, because all of the information you need to write, you can write it directly into the system. Okay, so what you're looking right now is the text editor that's within our system, and you can write the process description, purpose and scope and everything directly into this process. Okay, you can define the process key performance indicators, many of them, if the process has those. This is actually the core, I think, of the process, where you define the process activities, all of the activities that it has, certain responsible people, but not the actual people, but the work areas in which they work in. You also can define the activity inputs and outputs. Those are actually the documents. You can also then call those out and see those if they are here. They are available for you for the review, like so. Okay, now we have a simple diagram here on the left side where you see the workflow of these activities for this process. This is also very interesting and useful, and I think that ISO offers it for you to have it. It's good that you do. You have certain people that prepare this process, certain people that verify, and certain that have to approve this process. Okay, and only those people that are appointed here can do these steps. Now the next thing is the process description. Everything you need to write about this process, the whole details and everything goes in here. Different equipment is also can be connected to the process. Risks, processes have certain risks, and we have here the connection to the failure mode and defect analysis, and you can access those by a simple click of a button. And also the release notes, which are here. Okay, so you have all the addition of this document put in place, and you can always see those additions and call them out. So very, very useful thing. A similar functionality here with the documents itself. You can create the documents within the system. You don't need Microsoft Word anymore, also for this. Because here I have one example, which is the maintenance instructions. I can go into the system here and have different data for me to put in, from the ID and edition, version, name of the document. I can connect this document to my process, additional data here which can be turned on or turned off. Responsible people that can create this document, certain that some people that have to verify the document, and some that have to approve it. Now we have gone one step beyond, and we created a ability that more than one people can create one document. So each of the one responsible person is appointed to one section of a document, and another one to the second one, and the third one. Maybe you can use it, maybe not, it doesn't matter, it's here and available. Also the text editor within this system, so you can write everything directly in. Connection. Yeah. Connection is a bit slow today. Okay, it doesn't matter. This is all written up into the system, so you don't need outside programs anymore. Okay, very good. Now, last but not least, the quality management system, in my opinion, wouldn't be finished or wouldn't be whole if we didn't have some kind of a dashboard. Okay, so we are also currently working on this dashboard right now, and as you can see here, we have three examples here. which is first is the audit management, corrective actions, and problem solving. So I can see certain data, how many complaints are in progress or finished or blocked or whatever. Now these are you can't change these analysis here, but what you can do is something else, which I will show you right now. And let's say that we want to analyze dangerous events in our system, our company. Okay, I can do this. We'll click here. I will find my area of quality, which is dangerous events. And the system will bring something up to me here. And maybe this is not the best view over here. Could be better, but I don't like this. So I will show you how you can simply change this, because what you can see here, what you see here, this is actually a pivot table. So all of the fields that are available, you can turn them around. Okay, so let's say I don't want the responsible person anymore here. And let's say that this is not the best view, so I will reverse the column and the rows like so. And as you can see, this is much better, much better. I can see something useful here. And what I can see is the different offices here on this X line or axis, if you wish, different offices and the status of different dangerous events. So I have, these are the finished ones based on my offices. I brought in the opened ones and also the working ones. So very useful thing. You can then rotate if you wish. Let's bring a responsible person back in. Okay, so I can see, let's say I want to see it for myself. This is me, Mitya, and I can see certain analysis. Okay, so the point of this is to show you that this dashboard can offer many different vantage points for your analysis, and you can do many things here by rotating these fields and creating whatever it is that you want. Okay, so at this point I will finish up the presentation. I wanted to give you the whole perspective on the system. That's why we looked at the many different areas of quality today, so you get so you will be able to grasp the width of this software, and maybe I have showed you something interesting. If you have any questions, this would be the best time to share those with me. Maybe you can just write here in the chat box, and I will turn on your microphone so you will be able to speak. We'll wait a minute just to see if anybody has questions. Okay, so Simon here is asking me if I can see the layout of this software in different languages. The answer is yes. So we have many different languages over here. Right now I have set it out to English one, but we can also change it to any other. So I'll put in Slovenian language right now, and as you can see here from the menu, everything is in Slovenian language right now. Okay, another question. Where can I find the 5S lean? I did not catch it. Okay, very good, no problem. Go back here. I have it here in the production management, sorry. Yeah, here in the production management category, I have defined a 5S lean area of quality. Okay, and this is my project for the 5S monthly audits. And within this project, I have different activities that are actually months of evaluation on this based on this method. Okay, so each of these months, yeah, sure. Just to finish this up, each of these months are then evaluated based on the 5S link criteria form that I have built behind each of the months. So sort, simplify, systematic, cleaning, standardize, sustain, and the different criteria for each of the phase. Okay. And then here on the right side, I have my results where I can input my evaluation from 1 to 5. And here on the bottom page, I can get certain reports or cumulative or and something else. Okay, I hope that answered the question. I will also written down my questions, and we can then share it to you in the email. Okay, another question. Could you please make again a focus on point 2, sales? Sure. Sales is the category for the sales department. That's how we interpret this. So for that case, we have in this category put the area of quality of complaints. And maybe the sales department solves those complaints or the quality management sector solves those complaints, but we can put this anywhere else. It's not necessary that's in the sales. The sales category is here for the sales people to define their own activities and projects that are useful to them and that they will use. Okay? That's the point. But for the complaints here, this is one complaint, and the second complaint, and the third, and so on. And each of these has its own input form. I didn't show you that in the beginning. It's that blue button over here, and you can type in all of the data that has to be written for this complaint in here. Okay, but the certain findings, what the problem description and the root cause and corrective actions, those are then defined and written up here on these activities through the adding the comments. Okay. I hope that answers the question for you. If not, ask again. Maybe I can clarify. Okay, very good, thanks. Anybody else, maybe? If not a problem. I'll stay here a little bit longer, but I will give Sabrina back here, and she wishes to speak to you a little bit more. Thank you, goodbye. Oh, yes, we do. Sabrina can talk a little bit about that.
So hello again, I'm back. As I promised, so hello to Mr. Erzin. Just to answer your question, yes, we have a CRM system inside of our company, and of course it does help all the sales departments to make their sales funnel better and to close more leads. Do you have any specific questions about the CRM maybe? So, just to clarify everything at the end, as I promised you in my email that I sent, the final stage of this webinar is to send an email to everybody here and discuss about possibility about getting a demo version to our Quama, which is not a problem. But of course, what we offer you, because you were here at this webinar, is 30 minutes of free training with Mitya. This is not because you wouldn't know how to use the software. The answer, so that the right thing why you are getting these 30 minutes is because everybody here from you comes from a different company. And I'm sure that not even one of you does the work the same way as the other one, which means we would like to help you to see the real scope of our Quama, and for having a feedback from your side, how would you do some certain things and how to manage them inside of Quama. So what I will do, everybody will get an email in the scope of 1 hour from now, and I will kindly ask you to reply when is the good time to to set up a meeting with Mitya. And of course, there, I will ask you about giving me some pointers about what can we do better the next time. And I will also attach the PowerPoint presentation that we made today and ask you for some additional information to give you the access to our demo version. So this is also from my side everything. If you have anything else, I'm also glad to answer. If not, then we will talk about everything else inside of the emails. Thank you everyone again, and we will talk about everything else inside of the emails. Goodbye.